Okay everybody, here's my video for the EC-10 Professional Echo Chamber, the EC-10. EC-10 is what Roland developed as before it was Roland. They sold Space Echoes basically under this name, so I think this one's from 1972 or 73. I found this one. It was working fine. It had been shrink wrapped for several years, and basically the store I bought it from in Japan had it listed under junk because they didn't have any 1/4-inch tape, and it uses a tape loop that's about 61 or 62 centimeters long. So it's not a really long kind of like bin like the later Space Echoes. But it sounds great. This one has 12 modes. Well, I guess mode 0, what it's currently set at right now, is no echo, just the preamp. And actually the preamp on it sounds really good. It's really warm. It doesn't take an awful lot of high end off, but it kind of fattens the tone up. I'm playing a PRS Custom 24, just on the middle selection, which I think is bridge and neck output together, and it's through a Trace Elliott Velocette, which is basically just an EC-10. Really good, clean sounding amp. And so I thought I'd take everybody through the modes and let you hear what it sounds like a bit. So this is it running right now. It's pretty quiet. And I'll just get into it. Right now the echo depth is at about 9 out of 10. Echoes just in the middle. The echo time, I guess I can set it to 0 for now so you can hear it. So the manual says mode 1 is for vocalists. It's a really fast kind of reverb or a really fast kind of slapback effect. Sounds like this. So sounds pretty good. And I think 1 through 4 are just the different playback heads by themselves. So here's number 2. It's a little bit of a longer delay. And all of these will self-oscillate if you move the slider all the way up. When I bought it, the heads were a little bit out of alignment. I couldn't get it to self-oscillate. But basically I just tweaked it a little bit, and now everything's set up to where it should be. And so if I turn it all the way up, it self-oscillates pretty quickly. So that's it. Kind of like the Space Echoes, anything above about 70% will self-oscillate. Here's the next playback head. A little bit longer. So that's what it sounds like. Here's, I believe, the longest delay. Or I'm sorry, the furthest playback head. Here's what it sounds like. So the longest delay I think you can get out of the machine would be this echo time slider all the way over to the left. So whatever that is in milliseconds is, I think, about as low as it goes. And then it goes all the way up to this right here. So that's about the limit for that head. So if you have the motor running all the way at full speed at like, you know, playback head 2. It's a very fast, actually I guess I can show instead of talk. So, really fast. Everything past 4 is like a multimodal delay. And the manual says with special effect on, I think, 6 through 11. I don't know exactly what it is. Some of the settings have a interesting kind of like rhythmic quality about them. And I'll just run you through them really quickly. So in the manual it says setting 1 and 5 and 6 are for vocals, but I'll show you 5. So here's 6. Yeah. So not a very long echo, kind of like a almost like a reverb. Here's 7. Sounds really good. So I'll move the echo time up a little bit. So it's nice long trails, kind of fading out. The top end doesn't really fall off that much. So when it begins, it's pretty much all there. So sounds pretty good. Here's 8. So that's some combination of the heads. I'll move that down a little bit. Okay, here's 9. So these are all combinations of, I'm sure, multiple playback heads, but I don't know exactly what it is, so. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, here's number 10. That one's really cool. So that one's already almost into self-oscillation. I'll slow it down a little bit so you can hear it. Pretty cool. All right, and here's the last one, number 11. Sounds great. I think it's just everything kicking. I'm not exactly sure. Sounds really fat, has a lot of echoes, and there's almost like a chorus with it. And that takes us back to the preamp. So I think it sounds great. Really cool piece of vintage guitar history. It also has a bunch of mic inputs and a foot switch input as well. I'd assume this would work with most stuff, like whatever the modern equivalent to the FS1 by Boss would be. It also has a high gain output and a low level input. Yeah, everything's working fine on it. Yeah, I think it's a really great piece of equipment. One of the more interesting things is that on the back, you can kind of get a look at it here. There is a variable input power transformer. So you can travel with it internationally. Right now it's set on 100, what is it, 100 watts, which is Japan standard. It goes all the way up to 240. And yeah, if you want to take a look at the guts, there are a couple latches, one on either side. Just folds back. And you can remove the Tolex cover. And here is the interior of the unit. So nice and clean. Like I said, this thing was shrink wrapped whenever I found it. And for long-term storage, you can pull back the pinch roller, tighten it up, and it will, you can just basically pull it off the capstan so that it just doesn't rub on it or pinch it at all. Yeah, anyways, if you're interested, let me know. I'll be selling this. Reluctantly, my wife and I are leaving Japan. We really like music equipment, but we just figured it'd be better to kind of purge a little bit, sell a few things off before we left. So yeah, that's it. The Acetone Space, not Space Echo, Acetone Professional Echo Chamber EC-10.